Now it's time for you. I'm going to come back to you guys. I would love it if you would take out a piece of paper and you can write it on the back of your bumblebee or another sketch. I want you to think about this question. What did I stop doing that brings me alive when life got busy? And I want you to spend about 3 minutes, just do stream of consciousness writing. Really, you can do bullets. You don't have to write complete sentences, but try to get as many ideas as you possibly can. Okay. Did anything come up that was a little surprising? I want you to look at your list and then I want you to select one thing and make a commitment to go ahead and bring it back. Put a sticky note on your desk or put something in your calendar now to bring it back and then protect it because we're great at blowing off those kinds of appointments with ourselves. Oh, I'm too busy. I got this other thing. Trust me, I know as a recovering productivity fiend. Okay. Now, now that we've added something into the schedule, now we're going to take some stuff out. So I want to share with you an Instagram post that was written by author and artist Lisa Congdon. And if you're not familiar with her work, I encourage you to look her up. She's incredibly talented. But I was scrolling through Instagram about a year or so ago, and I came across this post, and it just took the top of my head off. I find it to be one of the most compelling cases for subtracting things from your life. And she calls it loud quitting. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and I'm going to read this post to you. It's not going to take long, but I want you to listen to what she's saying. And then I'm going to ask you to think about your own list to loud quit. Okay. Lisa says the following. I've been thinking a lot lately about quitting. And I've been on a systematic mission to examine and quit everything in my life/work that feels finished or draining or one-sided or obligatory or without purpose or joy. So far in the past 9 months, I've quit alcohol, food restrictions, teaching college, my podcast, two boards of directors, working on Fridays, working on umpteen client projects at once, coffee dates with people I don't know, most public speaking, writing any more books, several friendships, and most weekday evening plans. I have not felt as happy, balanced, if such a thing exists, and such a sense of spaciousness in nearly 20 years. I've begun to think of this as loud quitting, intentional, communicated, assertive, as opposed to passive, and unapologetic. So, to be clear, this is not necessarily the opposite of quiet quitting, which is about not going above and beyond in the workplace, which I also support. Just simply my way of overtly claiming and taking control over my time in a way I haven't in my entire life. Because for most of my 55 years, I thought it was literally my duty to please, serve others. Ironically, one of my core values is service. But I've come to realize that when I serve others out of joy and connection and purpose, and not out of a sense of obligation, there are only rewards. Woo! She speaketh the truth. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Number one, take in this little factoid. Our brain needs to rest 42% of the time. So if you do the quick math on that, that's roughly about 10 hours a day. Now, if I'm being generous and guessing that you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night, which I know isn't true for the vast majority of us, we are still shy another 2 hours of rest during that 24-hour period. So, what I'd like for you to do is think about how I can now bring more spaciousness and rest into my daily life. And one of the ways that we're going to get at it is creating a very quick stream of consciousness again, loud quitting list. This you will come back to and refine. You can play around with it over the weekend, whatever. It's going to always be a work in progress. But let's start right now with just some quick notes. And I'm going to give you just 2 minutes to just write as many ideas as you can. And then circle one and go ahead and make a commitment to at least examine, if it's not already apparent to you, how to loud quit it, but make a plan to start to figure that out. Make a note. Put that on a piece of paper and put it in your journal or put it in your calendar. And I always think that it's wonderful to have some kind of a periodic check-in because, like the stuff that's in the drawer in our kitchen that, 6 months ago was clean and organized, and now it's got everything in there from lint to a half-eaten lollipop and tape measures and all kinds of weird stuff in it. We can accumulate all of these extra tasks and roles and jobs. And if we don't have a periodic or quarterly meeting with ourselves to kind of look at that list and say, is this really what I still want to be doing? Is this still how I want to be spending my time?
Can I ask a question, Susie?
Please.
What if you have a long list and you don't feel like there's anything you can actually take off of it?
Well, part of that is um, it's partly true and it's partly not true. And so, depending upon your situation, you might ask yourself, do I believe that's true because I believe I have a certain kind of duty to do something when in fact maybe I don't? So that's one way you can come at it. I'm glad that you've got it all on paper because now you can start to examine it and see, okay, what maybe is there anything on here I can trade off? Something that I would enjoy doing that um, frees me up energetically and take something that's on somebody else's list off of them. Or where am I believing something that's maybe not true about feeling like I can't take something off the list? And I've certainly been, when I was in my nuclear winter period, I had a big fat list, and there literally wasn't at that particular time anything I could take off of it because I was in a kind of a crisis situation. So that I'm not saying it's never true, but it's not always true forever. That makes sense.